Hi, this is Saen Higgins with USTLA, and I want to say congratulations. You're going to be establishing a qualified retirement plan. There's a bunch of different structures here that I want to go over, and in order for you to make an informed decision, you have to watch it all the way in its entirety. There are some basic ways you can set this up. The first way I'm going to show you is probably the most basic, but not my favorite, and I'll get back to that later. So the simplest way to set this up would be through a sole proprietorship. We're going to call this a sole prop. You cannot set up a qualified plan without something sponsoring that. An example would be IBM, Apple Computer. If you go to work for them, they have a retirement account. They have sponsored that. You are setting up your own retirement account, so therefore you need something to sponsor that. And the most basic form would be what we call a sole prop. And we can help you do that. Now, I'll explain in a minute why that's not my most favorite way to do it. The second way, and my preferred way, is to simply open up an LLC, a limited liability company, that's going to sponsor the QRP. Now, there are a number of reasons why this is a huge advantage. One of them just being asset protections, and there's a plethora of tax advantages for doing this. You're going into business. Why would you not set it up correctly? The correct way to do this is through an LLC that sponsors the QRP. It's very simple. When this LLC makes a profit, and that is the goal, you're going to take a percentage of that and be able to contribute into your qualified retirement plan. I'm not going to get into those numbers because everybody has different profits, but that's how it works. So you've got an LLC, sponsors a QRP, and that's what makes this all viable. When I make money in my LLC, I get to transfer money and start funding my retirement account. Now, the most important thing, once you've set up your qualified plan, is doing business within your qualified plan. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. Because you are the administrator and the trustee, most facilities out there, counties, title companies, individuals you're doing business with really don't understand the makeup of a qualified plan as you being the trustee and administrator. So what we did a number of years ago, just to make it simple, was we had the qualified plan open up its own LLC that it owns. I like to call this the retirement LLC. Now think about this for a minute in this illustration. The qualified plan has money. It opens up an LLC underneath it. And when you want to do business, make money in your retirement account, you simply transfer the money down to the LLC, and that's where all the business is done. There is no asset protection angle on this. It's just a simplicity of doing business. Let me give you an example. A number of years ago, I bought a 10-unit apartment building, or condos, inside my qualified plan, not in my LLC that was owned by the retirement account. Every time I went to sell one of those units, literally, my CPA had to spend an hour to 2 hours sometimes explaining how I was authorized to do that. To make it simple, I simply opened up an LLC that was owned by the retirement account, and everybody and their brother knows what an LLC is. They don't need to know that the structure is set up under the retirement account. It's really irrelevant. They say, how do you want you to title your property or your retirement trading account or whatever you want? You put it in the LLC. It's that simple. It's a beautiful way to do this. Now, there's a couple of things you need to understand about this retirement LLC. If you have money from an existing IRA, 401k, or any type of retirement account that you're rolling over into your new qualified retirement plan that you manage, it needs to be deposited directly into the qualified retirement plan. It has to go through that entity before it goes down to the LLC. This is important to understand. Later on, we'll have some videos on how to set up the bank accounts and how to utilize those bank accounts. For right now, this is the basic way you want to set it up. Number one, through a sole proprietorship. My favorite way is to set up an LLC that sponsors the qualified plan. Then, once the qualified plan is set up, you set up an LLC that's owned and operated by the qualified retirement account. You make the choice of what's best for you and your financial future.